Hello again, beautiful souls. It's me, Amanda, with Anamkara Messages from the Soul Friend. It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a video, because like everybody else, I'm on a journey. I'm working through my own stuff, and we need to process, go within, and I've been very busy with a lot of people and haven't had a lot of time to do that. That's a very important self-practice for me, because it's when I do that I'm at my best and I'm better with others. And in the last couple of weeks, people have been asking me to, do a video on this, do a video on that. Oh my God, that's really helped me. Please make a video on it. And, I'm not going to apologize for it, because these videos are being guided by spirit. When I'm given the impulse to come online and do a video, that's when I do it, not because somebody thinks I should. And again, this is all my learning to surrender with flow and trust myself and my own intuition. And recently, there's been a running theme with judgment with some of the people that I've been interacting with and working with, and fear of what other people will think of us and things like that. And I almost lost sight of the fact that because I was having these conversations with people and helping them find their way back out of the situations they found them in, to help them rise back into the higher frequencies where they feel better, and when they have the clarity of their own intuition being able to come in then as a result. My own past traumas around judgment, disapproval, etc., all that heavier feeling energy was actually starting to be triggered. And although I've been getting a few of my impulses, the guidance to go and do a video, I've actually been resisting, because those triggers were going, those frequencies were being triggered within me. And again, I'm back to that thing of, I'm not worthy to do this. But I am. This is who I am, and this is what I do. I am a channel. And I help people to find the answers that they seek. I don't have all the answers, but I can help you connect with yourself, tune in to your own inner wisdom, and gain clarity. And with that clarity comes confidence, because when you really know who you are, what you want in life, and where you're going, things just get easier and easier. Now, I've been witnessing globally, massive changes on the planet. There's so much in the media. I haven't watched the news. I don't have TV here anymore, and I don't watch TV. I don't listen to the news, because it's all doom and gloom. And I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm merely here to share some of the things I've been doing and share the fact of how much it's helped me. But that's my thing. I've just tuned out of that. We all have, well, most of us have the internet. We can check for headlines and see, is there anything that's relevant to us that we need to know about? But if it's all scary, doom, gloom, personally, I choose not to engage with those frequencies anymore, because I've discovered I can live a very happy and content existence by just tuning into myself and going, what would I like to do right now instead? And instead of watching news and all the scary stuff, I will look for good news stories, or I will go do things that I enjoy doing. And something I have discovered that is incredibly powerful and healing is to use music as a tool to help me let go of the past. So many of us, we live these hectic lives. We're so busy, we're so stressed, we're always doing. And even when we do get a bit of time to ourselves, it's our minds are racing. We're either still at work or still at home with the kids, or with parents or friends, or there's always something else. We're fragmented. There's pieces of us all over the place. And I've learned to pull those parts of me back in and keep them here with me. To be present, not to be scattered, not to be fragmented, but to start living present in my life. Because that's the life I'm here to live. My life. Nobody else's. Nobody else's version of what is a good life or a bad life. I'm not here for anybody else or to do what other people do. I'm here just to be me. People have asked me, and especially it's coming up a lot in the last couple of weeks, well, who are you? Like, what are you? Are you a tarot reader? Are you an oracle reader? Are you a medium? Are you this? Are you that? Are you a witch? Are you a shaman? Are you... Do you know what? I am none of them. But yet I'm all of them. I'm just Amanda. And there are elements of those frequencies that flow through me at times. But I'm not here to fit in any of those boxes. I'm just here to fit in me. And yeah, some people might think this is a little bit woo-woo or crazy. But I feel at peace. I feel content. And I feel happy. And my relationships and connections with, other people, they're changing dramatically as a result. And I hope that some of what I share here will help others, will help you. I've lived most of my life in trauma and depression. Hasn't really been a pleasant experience so far, but I've learned to appreciate it. I actually value it all, every bit of it, every horrible bit of it, because it's taught me how much I love the good moments, how important they are, how much feeling good actually means to me. And for a long time, I didn't actually know what feeling good was. I was associating the sensation of relief with feeling good. Just because today wasn't as hectic and traumatic as yesterday. Oh, that's okay. At least it wasn't as bad as that. And I genuinely spent 40 odd years living that kind of existence, thinking that feeling relieved was feeling good. And it's only in the last year and a half, 2 years, I'm really starting to learn what feeling good is. I'm really starting to learn what frequencies of emotion match these words. And, I've mentioned in other videos, when I was really pushed into this channeling business, this energy, this frequency of opening up and allowing spirit to flow through me. It was very challenging. I thought it was nuts. But, as things unfolded, as I surrendered to it, evidence was coming and validations was coming. And it's like, I wasn't crazy. I'm not crazy, because things validate. And although I still have moments where I feel like the crazy lady, anything that has come through, there's always somebody that receives it and appreciates it. And it's something they needed. So I'm still working on learning to trust that even though something may not make sense to me in a moment, it will to another. And it's very important that I actually allow this to flow, which is very challenging for me as a woman who has lived most of her life locked into herself in survival mode, defensive, So to flow, it's a big challenge. And to come and do these videos, oh my God, I've done a few now. I thought it's going to get easier and easier. And in a way it is. But my God, it still triggers me. Every time I'm preparing to press that button and go live. And again, I go live because I don't know how to upload. I'm so bad with technology. But again, I feel all my triggers, my fear of judgment, and disapproval, all starting to shake up with me. But what I am noticing, and what I'm learning to recognize as beautiful, instead of focusing on the fact that, oh, there's still some of that, bubbling up, there's still elements and touches of the frequency of fear within me, it's like I'm learning to face it with a little bit more ease. It still triggers me, it still challenges me, but I'm not quite as emotional about it. And it's not quite as hard. So again, I can trust this will get easier. Now, I did some meditation this morning and I put on some music, and it just came in so powerfully to, speak to you and bring your awareness to the power of music. And, it's like I'm being told music is a language. Now, I'm not a musician. I haven't studied any of this. Now, there's a wonderful soul, Russell, from Rustling Around, the YouTube channel. He's a wonderful, wonderful soul who is so wise, and he has a lot of wisdom around music and the notes and the associations. But for me, I can only deliver a message and translate what's flowing through me at my level of awareness. So sometimes I'm seeing all of these things like frequencies, it's the energies, and again, the flow. And what was coming through today is music is language. And again, music is associated with our chakras. And if anybody doesn't know what our chakras are, they are the energy centers within our body. There are 7 within, and then there's more externally. But they are part of who we are. And again, our souls lie within. And when these energy centers in the bodies are nicely aligned and balanced, it's much easier for the clarity of our own intuition and our own soul's guidance can flow with more ease. And yeah, sorry, I've scribbled notes because while I was doing my dancing, things had just come in to come and speak about. So, people say they can't meditate. I can't switch off, I can't sit still, don't want to be doing that. And people often get irritated, even just at the prospect or the suggestion of meditate and go within. But it doesn't have to be that sitting cross-legged. And I really struggled with this myself for years. I'd go to workshops, and everybody be like zenned out and really getting into their meditations, where I was getting really frustrated. Because I didn't want to sit still. There was times where the whole room, people would be sitting still. And you know what? I had this irresistible urge to sway, to move. And I always stopped that. I resisted it, I was like, sit still, you're not supposed to do it this way, you have to do it that way. And I think part of my mission here is to start breaking some of these beliefs that there is only one way to do something, that there's a right way or a wrong way. Had I started swaying at one of those workshops, would that have been wrong? At the time, I thought it would have been. Now, in hindsight, I understand that's part of my way. Because, when I move, when I flow, again, flow like water. And the water element, and again, bear in mind, we're talking about frequencies. Everything is energy, everything is frequency. And again, when I flow like water, when I allow myself just to move, it doesn't have to be lapping around like Michael Flatley, stuff starts to move. And for me, as somebody that was rigid for most of my life, there was one particular workshop where, dance was part of it. Do you think I could move? No. I literally, my whole body locked, my feet were glued, my knees locked up. I could not. I was so rigid in my survival mode that while everybody else was leaping around having great fun, couldn't do it. The best I could do by the end of the hour was kind of, maybe a little bit of that, but it was jerky. There was no flow to me. I was so rigid. I didn't know how to flow. And again, it's because from all the traumas I'd experienced. I'd locked myself in survival mode. And I'm learning. I've already survived everything. So when these emotions start to bubble up, I can actually just allow them now. I'm not that frightened little girl or that teenager or the woman in her 20s, 30s. I'm not a victim anymore. I've already survived every single traumatic, painful, and upsetting experience in my life. So, that tells me I can do this. Now, I'm not talking about pushing down and ignoring your emotions. I'm talking about allowing what you feel to flow. Because one thing I've really learned is holding it in, it eats away at us. It stops us enjoying life. And it really does limit us from just enjoying experiences. We're constantly on alert. We're not looking for the good in anything. Our focus is on finding the problem, something to fear. And this is very prevalent when it comes to relationships. And I don't just mean romantic relationships. I mean all relationships. There is so much loneliness out there at the moment and confusion. There's an awful lot of people coming into a new awareness but don't know what to do with it and are quite frightened by it. But again, it's important to sit with it, sit with yourself. If you want a true connection, if you want healthy friendships and relationships, it is vital, and I cannot emphasize this enough, it is vital that you have a connection, a loving connection with you, with yourself first. Now, sorry, I do go off on tangents sometimes. Now, soundtracks. We were talking about, meditation. It doesn't have to be sitting still. Sometimes it can be really fun. And like, if you have a favorite movie, a feel-good movie, a great adventure, maybe. And again, I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. I'm here just to suggest something you could try. Because I know, without a shadow of a doubt, that this will help you. That you will start to feel better. You will start to feel stronger. You will gain more confidence in yourself. You will have more clarity, which means when faced with problems, solutions will start coming. So, take a moment. What's your favorite feel-good movie? This morning I used Pirates of the Caribbean. And, I went through it. I had moments of upset, where the heavier feelings started to bubble. Because again, with movement. As I allowed myself to move and remember music, its frequency, the notes. Each note in music relates to each of the 7 chakras. So we have the root chakra, which will be the note of C. The sacral chakra is D. Solar plexus chakra is E. Heart chakra is F. Throat chakra is G. Third eye or brow chakra is A. And the crown chakra is B. Now again, I'm not an expert in any of these areas, but I am just going to try and help you join the dots. You don't have to be an expert. And for me as well, I was so rigid in my way of living and being trapped in survival mode. I wanted to control everything. I needed to understand everything. So trying to meditate, be like, why? Or I'd be asking questions and it's like, I'm not getting it. So I wasn't actually in a receiving mode because I was in the what's going on. I was in the I have to figure out, have to go. I was trying to control it all. And that's why for years I struggled and got nowhere. Like I get bits coming in, sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. It's only when I've learned to literally surrender and enjoy my me time that life has just started becoming easier. And then my guidance comes in with such clarity. It frightens me sometimes, but in a good way. It's like, oh my gosh, like that's so weird. But I'm beginning to now associate weird with being wonderful. It's It's just such a wonderful feeling, because over the last year and a half, I'm starting to see how this weird stuff that flows through me is helping and benefiting other people. It's not just my life that's changing. Other people are starting to change their lives too. You see, we all have our own individual paths. And this is why we need to start taking responsibility, coming back within. Stop seeking all the answers externally with other people. There won't be a need for me or other tarot readers, because we can all tune in and get our own guidance. Now, when I say there won't be a need, of course, there'll always be a need, but it's like we won't be so dependent. There's so many now, and it's like, I have to go get a reading. And I used to do this myself, when I face with problems, I'd have to go see a reader, have somebody else tell me what to do. And for me, a lot of the time, it was just something that gave me light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to get better. They were mostly doom and gloom, but it was somebody else to tell me that it was going to be okay. That's what I got from it for many years. But I don't feel the need to do any of that anymore, because I can tune in and get my own guidance. I can use my own cards, and I receive and understand the messages clearly. However, there are moments when you're, particularly caught up in emotional stuff, and the frequencies are quite chaotic, and you're feeling your energy's very rattled. Then I'm not so clear. Then I could be reading the cards, but I don't know, am I receiving the message, or is this just what I want to read in the message? And why is that? It's because I'm not centered. It's because, I'm allowing myself to be rattled. And, that's okay. Sometimes it can be challenging. Sometimes it can take a couple of days to try and find your center, depending on what circumstance or what situation has arisen, how it's affecting you. And again, it's usually something happens and it just triggers all of the echoes of every other experience you've had in life that's similar to what's just happened. And see, that's what we need to become aware of, because we're getting so quick to lash out and go, you made me feel this. You did that. But actually, somebody does something. A lot of the time when we really explode and have that reaction, it's not that particular thing that's actually triggered us. That's like the straw that broke the camel's back, because we recognize that frequency. And the upset, the fear, the trauma starts to shake and get in that fear mode, and everything else starts coming again. All of those echoes just start happening again and again. And again, we're feeling it. And we feel an awful lot, which is why, I'm regularly guided to speak to people about trusting how you feel. Stop putting so much into what people say, because a lot of people will use the most beautiful words. But if you're centered, if you're loving yourself, you feel if there's any sincerity in those words. You feel the frequency behind the words that are being used. And there's a massive amount of miscommunication happening nowadays, because a lot of us have lost the ability to communicate. We've lost the ability to connect with people. And we're also desperate to find love and have somebody come along to make us feel good and make us happy, that there's all these patterns just repeating over and over and over and over again, until we start to learn the lesson. Happiness isn't going to come from another person. Somebody else isn't going to come and rescue you. It's not their job to do so. You can rescue you. And by spending time with yourself and learning to love yourself, literally enjoying your own company, you start to feel good. You start to value yourself. And when you're feeling good, your clarity gets clearer and clearer. This is tuning in. This is how we, our souls, everybody has a soul. Sorry, I've just noticed another one of the notes. There's so much wisdom that we're all carrying. There is a spark of light within each and every one of us. It doesn't matter how weighed down you are right now with stress, anger, frustration, all of that heavier stuff. It doesn't matter how bad things are. That spark of light is always in you. It might be held deeply under layers and layers of heavy, icky frequencies, but it's always there. It can never be put out. And I think Spirit is trying to help me reach people so that they can connect to that light within, connect to that spark, breathe life back into it. And, once you do that, all the answers that you seek will come to you. Each and every one of us has an army of spiritual teams and energies, these benevolent, loving beings. You may wish to call them angels, archangels. The labels don't matter. They really don't. But there are high vibrational, loving beings literally standing by all of us, just waiting to be asked to assist. And that's the thing. We have free will. We have to ask. We can't just struggle and just assume, oh, God and the angels are going to sort it out. You have to actually ask, hey, I need help with this. Please help me find my way. Guide me through this situation that's challenging me. You don't have to know all of their names. We get so caught up in it must be this way and it must be that way. Just pure intention is enough. You center yourself, the guidance will come. You'll be out and about and suddenly you'll just know, oh, do that. You'll notice something. And you'll get an impulse to do it. I don't know, maybe if you're job hunting or something, you might get an impulse to go for a walk. And then while you're out for a walk, you'll just notice a sign in a window of somewhere looking to hire, and it's just exactly what you need. Like, these things happen. These synchronicities are always unfolding. There's messages all around us. There's guidance all around us all the time, every day. But the thing is, we're not looking. We're not looking to receive. Our focus is so much caught into the fearful energies of what's going to harm me, what's going to hurt me. What if it doesn't all work out? What if it goes wrong? What if it all goes right? Let's start changing. We need to start rewiring our thinking, changing the way we look at things. You need to find your joy again. Like, when's the last time you laughed? And I mean really had a belly laugh. Such a wonderful feeling. And it's so important that we tune back in and find our joy. Whatever that joy is, it doesn't matter. My joy may not be the same as yours. Things that fill me with delight and enjoyment may not please you at all. In fact, they could irritate you. And that's the point. We're not all meant to be doing the same thing. We're not all meant to go to a dance class and learn certain moves to do certain things and just stick to that. We're meant to be individual. We're meant to have our own moves. And again, this phrase that keeps coming is going through the motions. Going through the motions. There is so much wisdom in some of these old expressions and phrases. Like, there's metaphors in so many things. And when you become centered, when you settle down, when you slow down and allow yourself some time for you. And I don't mean distracting, watching Netflix, playing games, or, distracting with other things. I mean just time for you to literally sit or stand or whatever and do nothing. Or, as the theme of this video seems to be, use the music. Use the language of music. Emotion. Let it flow. Put on the music. Energy in motion. That's what emotion is. Energy in motion. And any stagnant energy that's in our bodies, when music is played, it triggers. It can move stuff. Music is so powerful, it can uplift us and have us feeling fantastic. Music can shake things up and make us feel angry. Music can make us cry. It can be sad. Music has all that range. It has every chakra range, every color frequency, and every shade of every color in each of those frequencies. And again, everything. This is all about the universal resonance. And again, I don't have the right terminology, but everything, absolutely everything, is frequency. Color is a language. Music is a language. It's all energy. And I know a lot of people think I sound like a crazy woman right now, and that's okay. Because you know what? As I'm learning to work with it, and I haven't mastered it, I'm not going to claim I have, but as I'm learning to flow with the energy of life, my life's getting easier. And I spend most of my time resisting it. Nope, not going there. Since I've learned to soften, and again, I used to think being vulnerable and soft would make me weak. No, it's actually made me stronger than I have ever been in my life. And sure, I'm still getting triggered. I still get nervous every time I'm about to do one of these videos. But you know what? I'm still turning up because I know this is what I'm meant to do. I know what I do helps others. Might not help everyone, and that's okay. But I just have to trust. Because again, go by my experience. I've been witnessing. There's always somebody who contacts me after I've done one of these videos to say, oh my God, I felt like you were speaking to me directly. That's because I am. Spirit knows who needs to hear what right now. And these messages are collective. So sometimes a little bit will resonate, but the rest won't. Other times the whole thing will resonate. Sometimes it'll just annoy the shit out of you. And you know what? That's a good thing too. Because often when we're getting triggered like that, when there's anger and irritation starting to bubble up within us, that's an indicator that there's something within us, an energy, a frequency, an emotion that needs to be healed. Because when we're happy and when we're content, loads of things that can happen that we've just not for us. But we don't get angry or annoyed about it. It's just not for me. But if you're having an emotional response, whether it's irritation, anger, frustration, yeah, that's you. That's your stuff. That's the echoes of old wounds that are still stuck in your body. So again, this is back to flow, the energy of water. Again, sometimes spirit does this. When they do this, I always see the infinity symbol. And again, I always get like the seasons, the flow, everything in life is flow. And again, it's back to the universal laws. There is a universal law of, is it rhythm? Again, rhythm and cycles, rhythm and cycles. And I've mentioned this before in videos about relationships. We really need to connect with ourselves. We have to stop making other people the priority. We have to stop focusing on other people's behaviors, what other people are thinking and feeling. Because you know what? It's actually irrelevant. It's all about you. What are you thinking and feeling? Where's your focus? Are you looking for flaws? Are you looking for problems? Or are you just looking and appreciating at all of the lovely interactions and friendships you have? Oh, sorry. Got something really strongly coming in. Friendships. Let's talk about friendships. There's a massive, massive difference between a friend and an acquaintance. And it's becoming more and more prevalent lately. There's more and more people talking about, well, my friend this, my friend that. They're talking about people they've never met yet. They're talking about people they've only exchanged a few text messages with. That's an acquaintance. That's not your friend. Friends are people who know you, who see you and accept you, all of you, in your entirety, flaws and all. They love you regardless. That's a friend. And friendship takes time to grow. You feel it. You feel safe with friends. Really safe. Not on guard, not wary, not watching your words. You can just completely and utterly relax with a friend because they are safe. If you are not completely relaxed and feeling free to be yourself, the self you would be if you were alone, without company. If you don't feel free and safe to be that version of you, they are not your friends. They are your acquaintances. And this gets particularly complicated then when it comes to the dating scene. Because again, we're all craving connection. We all think we're looking for love. We're not. Love is all around us. Love is within us. We are love. You are love. Each and every one of us is the embodiment of unconditional, pure love. That's what our souls are. That is who we truly are. Our minds have just been programmed and wired that we think we're looking for love, and we're looking for it in all the wrong places. It's here. It's right here. It always has been. But we're all looking. We feel we need to be loved, and somebody else is going to love us, and then we're going to feel good and we're going to feel happy again. But it's not how it works. And as long as you're seeking it elsewhere and emitting the frequency of, I don't have it, it's not here, you're weighing yourself down. And you're going to keep attracting that, whatever frequency you're in the lower vibrations. And again, I'm not saying anything's good or bad, and even like the positive and negative, I'm starting to not like using those expressions because it kind of implies, negative implies that it's wrong or it's bad. It's not. Energy is energy. Some of the energies are lighter. They're the feel good ones. They're the ones that, they lift you up. There's always that kind of rising sensation with the higher vibrations. And what people call negative or lower vibrations, they're the heavier ones. They're the ones that you get that sinking feeling. And again, this is back to your feelings are your superpower. How you feel needs to take priority. Your soul is always guiding you. And when you feel yourself rise, this is good. When you feel yourself sinking, when you feel your energy sink, you don't actually have to pick it all apart. You just need to pay attention. You get a sinking sensation? Something's off. Pay attention. You're getting that uplifting thing? That's wonderful. Go with the flow. Trust it. And with practice, tuning into yourself, paying attention to how you truly feel. Not going through the motions to please other people, but go through the motions, the emotions, to learn about you. Learn about what lifts you up and learn what weighs you down. Because do you know what? You have free will. You can choose which frequencies you want to spend your time in tuning into. You have that power. There's so many of us go, oh, they're making me feel this way. They're doing this, that, and the other. And it's like, if they just change and do this, I'd be happy. But you see, that's not how it works. They're not doing anything to you. You're allowing them in your space. You're allowing your focus and attention to go from you and all of the things that give you pleasure and that you enjoy and all those wonderful things that make you you. And you take your focus and attention and you put it on another. And it's all about their happiness. And I've spoken to 3, 4. Anyway, the number doesn't matter. I've spoken to a few people this week. And, there's this running theme of, I don't want to offend them. But it's a case of, but if you're so twisted up inside, if your frequencies are all got whack, and again, remember, we're energy, our emotions, it's energy. We're meant to flow. There is a natural order. There's a natural flow to life. And when we can flow with it, everything goes really well. When we're resisting and all that starts getting up, that's where it all feels terrible and everything becomes chaos. But we choose what we tune into. We get to choose. If you're in a situation or a relationship, whatever the circumstances, if it's feeling and inside you're getting all twisted up, your energy's sinking, you're not happy, you get to choose whether you stay or you go. You always get to choose. And most of us choose to stay because we've been told and conditioned to believe that that's the right thing to do. Be polite, make everybody else happy, be a good little people pleaser. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't do nice things. I'm a firm believer in kindness and sharing love and affection and doing things, because do you know what? It feels really good to see people light up and be happy. But you see, there's a big difference. Do it because it feels good to do so. Do it because it pleases you to do so. But if you're trying to make somebody else happy, if you're trying to consider how somebody else is feeling, but in the process, you're all knotted up, your frequencies are twisted, and you're feeling like really miserable under it, no, that's not okay. And that is not the other person draining you or doing anything to you. That's you ignoring your own soul's guidance. Because again, it's back to, I did the video on your feelings are your superpower. When you're ignoring that sensation and it gets worse and worse, it's getting worse because you're not listening, you're not paying attention. That's why we feel bad. Our soul lets us know. And nobody likes that icky feeling. But you know, we've become so used to it, we've accepted it as the norm. But you know what? It's not the norm. Not anymore. Because you know what? You all, every one of you have the power to change that. You have the power to choose not to tune into those energies, into those frequencies, into those emotions anymore. And again, some people go, oh, you're being very judgmental. No, there's a big difference between judgmental and discernment. Judgmental is going, I'm better than you. Discernment is, I can still love you, and actually can love you so much, but the frequency you're choosing to live in right now and engage in and tune into, that's not resonating with me anymore. And I choose to resonate with higher vibrational frequencies now. Still love you, but bye. And off you go. You have that power in every situation. You always have that power to choose not to engage in those frequencies. And I know this is going to trigger a lot of people, and I know this can sound harsh, but oh, please just give it a try sometime. And again, people go, yeah, but how do I find my center? Put on the music. You know, if it's really challenging, just pick your favorite song. Just one song, put it on. And I think I've mentioned this somewhere in another video somewhere. Just close your eyes, your favorite feel-good song, put on the music, and just breathe. Just stand there and breathe. Conscious breaths. Take at least 3, but take a few of them. Really fill your lungs and really empty them again. And then hold the intention to breathe in your divine light energy. And exhale and let go of all the heavier frequencies that you've been tangled up in that you no longer want to be entangled in. You get to choose. And as you stand and listen to your favorite song, and as you breathe, releasing all that doesn't feel good to you and breathing in all of that unconditional love, your divine life essence, your own life force energy, breathe in that fresh air. Feel it invigorate every cell and fiber in your body. Because that is how it works. Our breath is so powerful. And then sway. Let your body move whatever way it wants. It may not be. For you, it may not sway. For me, it's always been sway. But then sometimes, my head just wants to roll. An arm might want to move. It might just be my fingers for a while. But again, I don't think about it anymore. I do it mindlessly. Do you remember when we were kids? And you'd be just doing stuff, you wouldn't even be thinking about doing it. This is about tapping back into that, your inner child, that beautiful energy, because you know what? Children can teach us so much. Children, they're pure, they're authentic. And I spoke about this in another video as well. I was talking about babies' laughter. Why do babies make us feel so good? Because when we look in a baby's eyes, when we hear baby's laughter, it reminds us who we truly are. It reminds us of our own divinity, of the unconditional love, the authenticity that lies within each and every one of us. And it's time now to breathe life into that spark of divinity that lies within. You are a radiant, beautiful light being. You are meant to shine. You are not meant to give your power away and allow other people to weigh you down and make you live their version of your life. You're here to live your life. You're here to take responsibility of what relationships, what relationships do you want in your life? Do you want relationships that are going to feed your soul, uplift you, encourage you? Or do you want the relationships that are filled with gossip and, misery and complaining and let's all get together and share the doom and the gloom? Now, don't get me wrong. We do need, when we experience something, we need to give voice to it. We need to let go of it. But you know what? We don't have to tell everybody we know. Because when we do, all that serves to do is perpetuate that same energy that you're not enjoying, that you need to let go of. And again, here's my love my magnets. Law of attraction brings you whatever you are focusing on without fail. So if you're sitting around with your friends, bitching and moaning and complaining, you're emitting those frequencies. And law of attraction can't help but bring you more experiences of those same feeling frequencies. And again, feeling. Everything is in motion. Everything is frequency. Our chakras, our energy centers, they're connected to music. Music moves emotions, energy in motion. And it's back to find your joy again. This is why people feel so good when they get up and dance, when they're out clubbing. And it's not about the alcohol or any of that. It's actually about the movement. Because when we move, all that stagnant energy and that deep-rooted, like trauma gets trapped in your cells. If you haven't acknowledged how you felt, it builds and it stagnates. Because it's stuck. It can't get out. You're not giving it a way out. No, I'm too strong. Big girls don't cry. Big boys don't cry. Soldier on. No. That keeps us stuck. It keeps us shut down. It keeps us small. And I know, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, when you've been wounded in the past, when you've kind of let yourself be vulnerable and somebody has betrayed your trust, that can make you not want to do it ever again. But again, if you start to tune in, stop looking for people you can depend on and trust, because you know what? It's you. It's always you. Learn to love and trust yourself. For when you do, when you really give yourself priority, when you find that place, when you finally see yourself as the beautiful soul you really are, when you stop looking in the mirror for the flaws, for the wrinkles, for the spots, for the freckles, or the red hair. I used to always despise my red hair. Now I'm getting older, it's starting to fade, and it's like, oh my God, I'm fading. I want to stay red. But you know what? It is what it is. I am who I am. And it's not about my freckles or my hair or my wrinkles. Because you know what? It's about who I am. And those that love me don't see any of that. They just see who I am. And that's what I want to share with others. I want to help you to connect with yourself. I want to help you Find your way to finding you, to connecting with you. And yes, it can be challenging, but I promise if you give it a try, it will help. Now, for me this morning, it was Pirates of the Caribbean. What a great adventure. And I love it. Even though I'm aware of this and I practice this, I still have moments where emotion starts to bubble. Like I said, I've had a lot of trauma in my life. 40 plus years, and that's okay. So it's going to take time. It's not all healed instantly. Well, it probably could be if I could master the whole thing of full faith and keep myself fully in alignment and not get knocked. But that would be me living the spiritual existence. I'm here to live the human existence. And I chose to come in here and have all of these experiences. And I'm learning from all of them now, and I'm growing from all of them. And I hope that I can help you do the same. So again, started dancing, and I know I go off in tangents. That's how I roll. So dancing. And as the music, it changes tempo. I don't know, I'm not a musically trained person, so I don't know what the right words are when the music's up and down. But you know what I mean. You feel the difference. 1 minute something's playing and you're feeling good and oh my God, this is great and woohoo. And next thing something comes in, maybe it's like drums and and like you feel yourself, your energy dips again because that frequency then triggers experiences you've had in the past. And this is where it's a beautiful opportunity to heal. And yes, we can experience moments of fear and frustration, but it's like breathe through it and allow it to go. Now, sometimes you can actually start to cry in this process, but that's okay. Nobody's judging you. In fact, we're the only judges because other people can think what they want, but it's only if we agree with them that it has any merit that it can affect us. If you really want to free yourself, you'll start putting on music. You'll start tuning into you and what makes you feel good. What lights you up? What weighs you down? And music is a wonderful, wonderful tool to figure that out. And in the process, you have to release all of this stagnant stuff, all of this baggage, energetic baggage that we all do it. We all carry this baggage with us. It's time to let it go. It's time to free yourself to be who you truly are, to be that wonderful, radiant person that you came in to be. It's so important. And you have the power to free yourself. And I know I'm like a parrot sometimes, repetition, repetition, repetition. But I'm learning these messages just keep flowing and they repeat until they are received. So I'm trusting there's somebody listening who's eventually going to receive this. And that's something else. On the topic of receiving, are you sitting watching this video with an open heart, ready to receive? Or are you sitting here watching this video to find fault or to criticize? And again, makes no odds to me either way, because it's not supposed to. That's not my monkey, not my circus. I'm just trying to help you tune into yourself. Where is your focus? How are you approaching life? Hi, Patrick. Oh, he just woke up. Yeah, massive time differences across the world. Don't know where I'm going with this really, to be honest, but I'm learning to go with the flow. And again, it's this message today, it's all about flow. It's all about energy, frequency. It all flows. Music flows. Emotions flow. And it's time that we stop with the rigidity. It's time that we start to tune into ourselves and flow. And a big thing that I'm learning, when I surrender and flow, even when, things happen that can kind of cause upset in my frequency, in my vibration, as long as I don't go rigid anymore, I start coping better. And again, I still have it. I haven't mastered any of this, but autopilot sometimes kicks in. And when something kind of unpleasant is happening, there's that element of brace against it. But I'm remembering now, don't do that, because it actually feels worse. When I try to brace against it, I feel ickier and ickier because I'm not. I'm pinching myself. I'm separating from who I truly am because I'm focusing on that unpleasant thing, whatever experience is happening in the moment. And what I've learned now is just when I feel myself do that, go, no, Amanda, just breathe. Just breathe and allow it to hit you. Allow that wave of whatever unpleasant frequency has come into your experience. Just allow it to hit you, wash over you, and go. Let it go. Let it flow and let it go. Because when we resist, when we tighten up like that, we're holding it in our bodies. It's hitting us and then we're hanging on. And it's so important to just soften, to just flow. It will pass. And again, they show me this infinity symbol in my head, and every time I get that, I feel the urge to do this. And it always reminds me of the waves on the beach, the ebb and flow. Something comes in, it crashes over, but then you see it receding out again. And life is very much like that. Life flows. And sometimes the heavier experiences, the unpleasant things, they're going to hit. Just accept it and surrender to it. Let it hit, but trust that it always flows away again. And once you start to practice this process of not being so resistant and not fighting, when we feel something more unpleasant entering our energetic orbit, when we start noticing these frequencies, we don't have to focus on it. And this again is back to the free will. This is back to you get to choose. You have the power. You get to choose, am I going to feed that drama? Oh, that's not nice. So again, don't resist it. Let it flow and let it go. That was not a pleasant experience. That's not something I want to tune into. Right, I'm off to go do something more enjoyable. And when you do that, gradually you start feeling better and you start rising some more. However, with free will, you also have the option of choosing to focus on whatever tsunami of unpleasantness has hit you. And you see, the problem is when we do that, and again, I'm guilty of this. I have not mastered this. This is an ongoing, ever-evolving process. But I'm coming out of it much quicker. I'm recognizing it quicker, and life's just getting better. Every experience is getting better. I don't have those awful tsunamis as often anymore, where once upon a time, God, I could have several in one day. But it's like you have the power. You get to choose. Are you going to hook in and make that awful frequency that you're not enjoying your primary focus? Because when you do, back to the magnets, you're focusing on that thing you're not enjoying. That's exactly what you're calling more of to you. Because again, it's the flow of life. It's the frequency. It's the music of life. It's this universal resonance. I know it's all interconnected. I can see the colors, the sound, I don't know, are they sound waves? It's all interconnected. And there's other people that can explain these things better than I can. But like I said, I can only do it, can only describe what I'm feeling and what I'm seeing. I don't have the education to go deeper into. I'm not trained musically. But again, what are you going to choose? It's back to, is it the heavier frequencies that weigh you down? Or are you going to choose to keep your focus mostly on the ones that lift you up? And personally, I'm choosing to focus on the things I can appreciate. Because you know what? Life sucked when I spent all my time looking at all the things that bothered me or upset me or that I wanted to change. They're always going to exist. That's part of life. That's yin and yang. There's always duality. But you see, you get to choose. You have that power. Sorry, Patrick, let me see. I had a dream of someone ice skating. I'd have to learn to flow a bit before to attempt that. think you're doing a great job of explaining. I understand it. Thank you, Patrick. Sometimes I actually need to hear that. I find the video still so very challenging. And look at the ice skating. Don't let fear get in the way. All that's stopping you is the fear. Do you know, is that something that you'd love to try? Well, then go try it. Nobody says you have to let go of the side rail at the start. Just go. If you spend your time holding on, you hold on. But as you start doing it, as you start, to feel the excitement, as the inner child starts to go, "Ooh, this is fun," your confidence starts to come, because as you're feeling good, you start to rise. And you see, then clarity comes in. And then just an innate wisdom, the awareness of how to skate flows to you. But if you're focused on, I'm going to fall, I'm afraid, that'll slow you down. But go give it a try. What have you got to lose? It could be the most exhilarating, wonderful day out you've had in a very long time. Too often we let fear stop us from having wonderful experiences. And I know I've certainly been guilty of that most of my life. It's like if you're getting an impulse to do something, if there's something you'd love to do, try it. You don't know till you actually give it a try. And then if it's not for you, it's not for you. But at least you're not left always wondering. But you see, if we're looking through the lens of fear, if we're looking for the negatives, of course you're going to find them. Because again, law of attraction will bring it to you. We live in this world of duality and polarities. But you have the power and the free will to choose. You can choose differently now. Don't get weighed down and lost in what's already happened. And you see, that's a big thing. And that's been a kind of collective theme within almost everybody I've been speaking to lately. When we live in the past, we're bringing all of that stuff with us, the fear. Or else you've got the flip side where people are running to the future. And again, it's back to, especially with the dating, but even with friendships, people jumping ahead. Oh yeah, well, what if this down the line? I don't know about this. You don't know the person. It's an acquaintance. Befriend people. Spend time getting to know each other. Stop being in such a hurry to be in the future, because all any of us have is right here, right now. Now, this present moment. And it's precious. It can be so magical if you do not bring the past into it, and if you don't taint it with anxiety and worry about things that have not happened yet. Come into the now. Sorry, they're giving me another one of it's like the triple spirals, and again, the holy trinities. The mother, maiden, crone, like the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. Your masculine, your feminine, your divine. Sorry, I had a moment of, Amanda, you're being crazy again. I was just pinching myself off from what's coming in, and I can't even remember what I said. So again, and here we go. This is me demonstrating. Sometimes we have those little wobbles. Just breathe. So yes, the triple spiral, the trinities. There's so much trinity energy going on lately. And again, I can't explain it all. But the trinity of the past, the present, we need to balance that and bring that into the now. We can't live in any, it is all one. But just be in the now, right now. And right now, all is well, all is good. If you're focusing back in the past, you're hooking into, you're calling those frequencies that you didn't enjoy. And if you're getting anxious about what may or may not come, you're hooking into those frequencies too, which means you're not even enjoying now because you're not here. You're not actually here. We really need to start calling ourselves back. I think it was Miss Remy Healings. She did a reading the other day, Sagittarius reading. And again, do you know what? I find for a lot of these things, you can disregard star signs. Titles can call you. A lot of the messages that are coming through lately, they are for the collective as well as the individuals. But she did a reading, and again, it was about soul retrieval. And that's what we need to do. We're scattered to the winds. We're so fragmented. There's very few people who actually are present in the now. Let that sink in for a minute. Because now is a gift. The present. Are you present in the now? Because it is a gift. How badly do you want to be happy? And again, I know change can be uncomfortable, but are you willing to make the changes? Things haven't been working out and you don't like the way things always go. It's time to maybe rewire the thinking. It's time to maybe try new things. Try putting on some music. Try using it. And the soundtracks are fantastic for healing because they go through all of them. And again, I wrote it down like the chakras, the notes of the music, they associate with all of our energy centers. And I mean, you can put on a movie soundtrack because people go, oh, I can't visualize. We can all visualize, but we're not all visual. So soundtracks are fabulous if you have a favorite movie because it helps you get into the flow of that energy. It helps you, you're remembering the movie. So as your favorite soundtrack comes on, close your eyes and you flow with it. You let your body move. Any emotions that start to bubble, you just allow them. So if you feel you want to cry and let go of something heavy, you cry and you let it go. Sometimes laughter will start to erupt in you because, again, music has the power to do that. And it's such a powerful way to free yourself of old stagnant energies, from old wounds, old traumas. And again, ask your guides, ask your angels, ask your ancestors, known and unknown. There's so many benevolent frequencies who just want to help you. Allow them to. Open up to receive it. Love yourself. Dancing feels wonderful. And like I said, there's moments where it'll challenge you because, again, emotion will come. I even had it again this morning, even though I'm aware of this. But you see, it doesn't bother me now because when I feel it coming, I don't fear it. It's like, okay, this is great. Something else I'm freeing myself of. And I don't even need to track it back. I don't even need to go, that wasn't pleasant and that felt so heavy. Was that grief? Was that anger? Do you know what? It doesn't matter. I don't need to, because if I try to track that, that means I'm then taking my attention and focus and tuning back into the very frequency that is just released. I don't want to do that. I'm just glad it's released. It's gone. It's like, whew. You have to stop being ashamed of tears. There is no shame in tears. Crying is one of the greatest gifts because it, again, emotion, energy in motion. It allows that stagnant energy to come out. And again, tears of joy, nothing more beautiful. And again, it's when we get that big rush, when the emotion, when that energy is so powerful, causes the eyes to leak. This is a good thing. So even if it's not so pleasant, the fact that you're crying, that's wonderful. That's a massive release. That is the water frequency coming in and assisting you. That is helping it flow. And again, we're back to flow. Music flows, water flows, emotions flow. Find your flow. Get back into the flow. Stop going against it. Learn to surrender. Because you know what? Surrender isn't submitting. A lot of people get triggered by the word surrender. But you know what? Surrender doesn't mean I'm giving you power to dominate me. Surrender means I'm not in fight mode. I choose not to fight. I'm not resisting what's going on around me. Surrender means, see what's going on? And I'm free to choose whether I engage or not. That's not very pleasant to me. I choose not to engage. and you go off and you do what you want. That's surrender. But you see, when we're trying to control it all, then we're focused on all the things that annoy us. I don't want that in my life. But you see, the very thing you don't want, you spend so much time focused on what you don't want, you're just calling it again and again and again. And until we actually learn that lesson, until we accept responsibility for what we are doing to ourselves, nothing can change. But you have the power to change it all, and to change it all for the better. It just takes a little bit of practice. And a little bit of self-love. Because we have a tendency to drop things for those we love. If somebody's in need, we'll go and help them. We'll make time for them no matter how busy our schedules are. Why don't you feel worth that same consideration? You are worthy. Love yourself. Give yourself time. Gift it to yourself. It doesn't have to be hours. It doesn't have to be a whole soundtrack. It can be one song. But just allow yourself to flow. Allow yourself to feel. Give yourself permission to discover the joy within, because it is there. It's who you are. It is who and what you are. You are joy. You are love. You just need to tune in. You just need to remember. You need to breathe some life into that spark, that divine spark that's lying within you. You can do this. And everything gets better. You see, with a little bit of practice, you do see results very quickly. You really do. And you see, once you start noticing those synchronicities, once you see those little changes, then it's like, oh my God, there really is something to this. And then your trust and your faith starts to grow. It really does. And all of those challenges that you're so tired of dealing with eventually start to melt away. Yes, there'll always be some kind of challenge that comes in. But you see, you begin to learn. You learn. And that's the thing. You bring the lessons of the past. You bring the wisdom of the past with you. But just don't be dragging the pain and the frustration and the hurt and the wounds. You can leave that behind. Bring the lessons that you've learned. Because it really does make a difference. So again, I'm going to ask you, where's your focus right now? What do you want in your life? If there's stressful situations going on, do you have to engage? Because often the solution isn't about making somebody else do something. It's actually about going within. And when your vibration is high, heavier stuff can't really exist. Sometimes you'll get a little wash of something crashing over, but it can't really exist because the light always disperses the shadow. The higher vibrations will always dispel the lower, heavier ones. And again, we've already covered there's no good or bad. It just is. And how do you feel? What do you choose? Where are you going to put your attention and focus? And I promise, put it on yourself. Tune into you and loving you and doing all the good things that feel good to you, that make you feel joyful. Everything else changes. Those problems with family members, friends, work colleagues, whatever, it all just seems to settle and change because it's all about how you feel. And if you start making how you feel priority, you will see huge changes. And you see, then everybody else gets the best of you too. Because you've got more clarity. You can see things. You don't get caught up in the drama so much. That's freeing yourself. Find your joy and do it. Now, do we have a card? I'm not even sure there's going to be a big reading in this at all, but we'll see. I hope this message has made sense. As always, I can feel again the old insecurity starting to bubble, but do you know what? I trust. There's at least one of you that needed to hear whatever I've after been talking about. And that's why I'm going to keep doing this. Now, do we have anything else to say before we close this off? Okay, doesn't even want to go. Kundalini rising. Ignite your passion for life. And again, this is it. Tune back in. Breathe into that divine spark. Ignite that passion for life, because, oh my God, when you feel yourself light up, you become passionate about everything. Again, this is number 22. Again, 22, a master number. You know, this is a number support. And again, I'm not a numerologist, but again, 2 is coming together. You know, it's time to connect you with yourself. Bring your ego and spirit together. Bring them into harmony. Balance your masculine and feminine. Because when you do, it just lights up. Everything just lights up. And again, music, it's all linked. It's all connected. The notes, the frequencies, the chakras. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Play the music. Feel it. Let it flow through you. Let the emotion that gets triggered, let it all flow through you. Because you will light up. It literally lights you up. And again, look, the blue, like the blue glow there to the front. Like blue for me is all about throat chakra energy and communication. And again, when you're lit, communication is so clear. It's so simple. The right words just come. They just flow. And it just helps you resolve any conflict. Because you're centered. You're in tune with who you truly are. And you are love. You are the very thing that you are seeking. And it's time to go within and connect. I'll have to let you know if I get the opportunity, but you're right. I release the fear and take the opportunity. I've been loving the new things I've been trying lately. Yeah. I see, that's the thing. You don't know what you really love if you haven't tried. Try new things, because you could find a new passion. Like whether it's food, like so many people, oh, I'm not trying that, don't like the look of it. But you know what? Some of the things I didn't like the look of have become my favorite meals. The flavors, the textures. And like if we're not willing to try something new, we're not open. We can't receive all the good that's coming, all that pleasure. If I was going to stick rigidly to, oh, I don't like it, that, I only like this, I wouldn't be experiencing all the pleasures I'm experiencing now, trying new things. Okay, you don't like everything, but that's okay. I don't focus on those ones. Focus on the ones of, oh my God, I've discovered a new passion for something. And like Patrick's saying there now, about ice skating. Do you know, try new things. Because you know what? You could find a new passion for something. And sometimes you have a natural ability. I remember a few years ago, I won a thing on Facebook. It was a 2-hour medieval weaponry training session. I was like, all right, come on, we'll go for the crack. Brought a friend with me. And you know what? It was just wonderful. And there were so many things I'd never done before. And, well, in this lifetime. But I took to most of it like a duck to water. And like by the end of those 2 hours, we were using Hungarian horse bows. I'd never fired an arrow in my life in this lifetime. By the end of the 2 hours of that session, I was able to run, like tumble over on the ground and come up, fire an arrow and hit a target. Like it just came naturally to me. And oh my God, the passion I have for bows and arrows. And then it started triggering all these things. Like even as a kid, I used to love, like I still do, any movies where there's bows and arrows and all of that in, and it's like my soul recognized that. My soul remembered in that moment. And it's a bit like muscle memory. Sometimes we're doing things and we just get into the habit and the body just knows. It's like when you're driving a car. At first, when you're learning, it's trying to figure out how do the gears work, getting the coordination between the pedal, the accelerator, the brake, all of that. It seems so challenging. But it doesn't take too long before just muscle memory. You just instinctively, know exactly what to do. You don't have to think about it anymore. And that kind of happened. And that never would have happened because I don't think I'd ever have actually gone looking to do that activity. But synchronicity had it. Spirit found a way and it sent me off there. I also got to try swords and shields. And again, that was something I took to naturally. And my God, I was lethal with a poleaxe. So, and most people would say I have a warrior spirit. And I do. I always have. But my God, that 2-hour session that I won, that really validated for me that I really am a warrior spirit. I am a warrior woman. And I instinctively knew how to work with all of these weapons. Now, the one I was crap at, the spear, the javelin, can't throw to save my life. But the rest of them, oh my God, just a magical moment of just this aptitude. And this is what I mean. If you don't try, if you don't have a willingness to try something new, you don't know what's going to light you up. And if you're not lit up, you're missing out. And if you're already lit and loving life, off you go. Disregard everything I'm saying. This isn't for you. But really and truly, it's when we're lit up, when we're feeling good and happy, everything else gets better. And again, it's a bit like what I was saying earlier on. When we're tuned in, clarity comes. When we're in the high vibrations, when we're feeling good, when we're feeling happy, when we're feeling high. And believe me, you get a natural high. You don't need drinking drugs. When you start tuning into yourself, when you start finding the love within, your energy rises. And it literally is. It's a natural high, a love of life. And it feels fantastic. But you have to be willing to try new things. You have to be open. And I've had so many wonderful experiences from, just being willing. That particular thing was a turning point in my life because it taught me, give it a try. You may or may not like it, but what if you love it? What if it's something that, like, look at me now. I don't know how many years ago that was, but it still lights me up. The memory of that day still lights me up. And if I'm ever anywhere where there's, an event and there might be, one of the fairs or whatever, and there's archery or something, I'm all over that. It's like, and someday maybe I'll have my own bow and arrow. I don't know. That would be wonderful. And if it's for me, it's going to manifest. But like the point is, get out and try new things. Start to find what lights you up. And every new thing you discover that feels good, keep doing it. Do more of it and keep trying new things because life just gets better and better. Yeah, sorry, Patrick. I know you're saying something there. I love that. Thank you for this. I feel this is important for all that I've been asking to receive because I wasn't the most willing to try new things. I was very resistant. Oh, hi, Bernie. How are you? Yes, Patrick, that's the thing. And it's the resistance that blocks us. When we resist, when we get rigid in our old ways and our old pattern, our old ways of being, we're actually shutting ourselves off. And then we don't feel too good. There's that ick. And again, I don't always have the words to associate, but the heavier frequencies, they don't feel that good. And it's like when we're resisting, we feel more of that because it's kind of our soul going, come on, give it a try. There's a better way. Look at it differently. And see, that's the thing. When we're open, we receive. And we can't receive the other good stuff when we're closing off and resisting other things in life. You need to be fully engaged in yourself. You need to be connected to your own heart, to your own love, to who you truly are. Because again, repetition, you are love. You are the embodiment of unconditional love. You are the very thing you are seeking. And when you embrace it, when you connect with yourself, when you form a loving relationship with yourself, then you're emitting that wonderful frequency, which just calls more and more and more of similar feeling experiences to you. It really does work. I'm witnessing this. And it's just amazing. It really is. And for somebody that spent most of her life, over 40 years, with terrible depression and suicidal thoughts and tendencies, I'm not giving this up for anyone. I'm not sacrificing this for anyone. And as much as I love people, I'm going to prioritize me and how I'm feeling. And that doesn't make me selfish, because when I do that, I'm a better version of me. Everybody else benefits as well. Because when we make the people pleasing, that's not pleasing to ourselves to do so. When we do the people pleasing purely to please others, eventually we slip into the frequencies of resentment, frustration, anger. That weighs us down. And then when we're weighed down, we're attracting those heavier experiences. It is that simple. It just takes practice. And you can do it. If I can haul myself out, and I've clawed my way out of the depths of depression so many times and tumbled back in. But thankfully, touch wood, it's been a long, long time. It's been a couple of years now. That's wonderful. Now, do I still have low moments? Of course I do. God, we all do. But I'm not getting lost in it. Now, I think the longest I've gone was a couple of days where I was struggling. But you know what? When I did, I started putting on music. I started looking after myself. Instead of criticizing myself and chastising myself, I loved myself. I honored myself. I went, it's okay, Amanda. This is really painful, because I'm starting to treat myself as I would a best friend. Because I am my own best friend, as are you. That's the point. When we love ourselves and have compassion and kindness towards ourselves, instead of criticizing and judging. And again, for a lot of years, I've been on the spiritual path a long time, but for a lot of years, I spent all my time going, look at you should know better. All the things you've learned, why don't you know better? Look at you useless lump. Look at you lying there. You're so miserable, you're so lazy. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. Those teachings are only starting to make sense to me because I'm learning to connect with me, to treat me like a best friend, to treat me like a lover, to treat myself like somebody I genuinely love and care about. And there's so much talk of self-love. And sadly, I'm hearing a lot of it. The words are right, but the frequency, it's coming in. It's heavy. I do love myself. I love myself. I practice self-care. And again, I'm not judging you. I'm trying to help you bring your awareness to the fact that if that's how you're saying you love yourself, if that's how you're letting people know you're looking after yourself and practicing self-care, you need to take another look in the mirror. Look for you. Look for the light within. And offer all that love you have to give. You've so much to give to everybody else. Start giving it to yourself. Offer it to yourself. Have compassion for yourself. Have kindness for yourself. Because most of us don't. We're so conditioned to look for the faults in the mirror, to look for the wrinkles or something we want to change. How about looking for all the wonderful things? How about for looking for the sparkle in your eye when you smile? How about noticing how you shine when you smile? How about having compassion for the sadness in your eyes? Because if that's the frequency you're in, when you look in the mirror, it can be very emotional. But don't fight it, don't resist it. Let that emotion flow. Have compassion for that beautiful soul looking back at you. Have compassion for that beautiful soul who's just entrenched and weighed down with all of these burdens. Encourage him or her. Because again, realistically, our souls don't have a gender. We pick bodies with gender purely for the procreation aspect. But our souls are both masculine and feminine. Because we need both to flow in harmony. And when you offer compassion to you, when you offer that love and compassion to that reflection in the mirror, just like you would for a best friend or a loved one, It releases things. The energy flows. Don't fight it. Flow. Should have named this video Flow. Because again, here we go again. They're showing me the infinity symbol. I'm going to give you the book message of this now, and then I'll probably go. Patrick, you're rubbing off on me, I think. I'm starting to, my videos are getting longer. I'm blaming you. I'm spending too much tuning into your frequency that I'm starting to embody the same. What are you saying? Yes, I could feel I was resisting something that would have been a passion or a wonderful experience. Didn't feel great, but I didn't take it either. I've learned and I'm learning. And that's it. We're always learning. Do you know? And look at it. If somebody comes along and says, I've mastered everything and I could show you the way, run away from them. Do you know? Because we're all learning. We're never done. We're constantly evolving. And it doesn't matter how much awareness you've gained or you think you've gained, there's so much more to learn. You know, we're all a teacher and we're all a student all at once. It's all, again, we're both masculine and feminine all at once. It's all of this, you know, blended in together. Partnership. So, Kundalini rising. Kundalini energy is non-denominational. It resides within every person, regardless of their culture, religion, or location. Often visualized as a great snake, this serpent of Kundalini energy has been coiled around the base of the spine since birth. Awakening Kundalini causes the energy to ignite and rise through the chakras. It lights up each chakra, giving each one an energetic boost along its way, continuing towards the higher crown chakra and beyond. And again, this is it. You know, this is what feeling lit is. This is that natural high. You know, that energy it releases, and like sometimes you literally feel like you glow and you shine. And this is available to every single one of us if we're willing to just go within and breathe life into that spark of divinity and let it burst into flame. Rising Kundalini can trigger positive and negative experiences. A spontaneous awakening can be triggered by extreme events in your personal life, such as abuse or trauma, accidents, major life events, extreme stress, and drug use. Being unprepared can leave you feeling lost in life, overwhelmed, depressed, or fearful, as the body and brain struggle to comprehend its intensity, choosing to restrict its movement. In a more controlled environment, yoga practice, intense energy work, and meditation can also release this potent energy. If you have a limited ego structure and are ready to surrender to your Kundalini, you will pass through this experience with minimal complications. Ultimately, how you receive this awakening depends upon your outlook on life. And again, that's back to, where's your focus? Are you open to receiving? Or are you closed off and fearful, looking for problems before they happen? Where is your focus? What is your outlook on life? Do you trust that all the good and wonders are coming to you? Or are you living in the frequencies of fear and worry? Only you can answer that. But just remember, you have the power to choose where you put your focus. Yeah, sorry, where were we? Okay, ultimately, how you receive this awakening depends on your outlook on life. Continual spiritual work is recommended now to remove any self-restrictions you may have in your life. And again, that's back to practice. You don't have to spend hours and hours sitting cross-legged going on. But even if it's just one small song, have a little bit of practice. Honor yourself enough that you're going to gift yourself with a little bit of time. Because even in the most busy schedule, we make time for those we love. So love yourself and make time for you. So right now you are heading into unfamiliar territory. Unfamiliar is good, depending on your outlook. Empathy for others increases while the interest in your own life begins to step into the shadows. As you begin to realign your life, you may even be asking, who am I? That is a good question. Who are you? Releasing patterns and conditions the self has placed on the psyche, now is the time to realign your being to your unique blueprint, to your soul, to the truth of who you truly are. Currently, you are dissolving personal patterns that are no longer needed. If it is not serving you at the highest level, it will soon be removed. The release of Kundalini energy can herald great change. Assess the success of your coping strategies during stressful and emotional periods. Forever changed by your experiences, reignite your fire and passion for life by connecting to your inner spark. Sorry. I still get giggly when the validation, like a message is repeated. And it's just validating what I've been speaking about. And again, that's a big one. Assess the success of your coping strategies. Yes, they served you once upon a time. They helped you survive all of those traumatic, painful experiences. But are they still serving you now, or are they hindering you? Because I know personally my survival mechanisms, they really were hindering me. They were stopping me enjoying the flow of life. I became so armored and so rigid that in my effort not to feel the painful emotions, I was numbed out from feeling the good stuff too. I will never do that again, because you know what? Life is wonderful. And even now when I experience some of the, more painful emotions, it just makes me appreciate the good ones all the more, because I allow them to flow now. I still occasionally have that autopilot of, and then it's like, no, Amanda, just flow. Just breathe and let it flow, because this too shall pass, because it always, always does. And we all have the power within to do this for ourselves. We are all the one we have been seeking. Love is not coming from other people. Love is always, always around you. And you connect with that frequency within you. You love yourself. You're going to call more and more of that energy and experiences to match that frequency to you. You have to love yourself. It'll happen. They just get longer and longer. Yeah, as are mine. And then Bernie, hi everyone. Thanks Amanda for your help this week and reminding me that I needed to connect with my inner being and soul. I feel so much better now, and I am now in the flow of my inner being. Oh, Bernie, music plays a major part of my life and dance. It lifts my soul, letting go of the worry. It's great to be back to that space. Music and dance is pure magic for me, and I connect to my soul. Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, music is so powerful. And again, it flows. And I really wish I was trained in, I don't know, all that physics stuff and the music stuff, so I could articulate better what I'm being shown. But I'm just seeing all of these beautiful colored threads, streams, and intermingling, and the flow. And again, music. Our chakras are all colored. It's all interconnected. And just dance. Close your eyes, go within, and dance. And look, if you're feeling afraid of being judged, nobody needs to know. Put in earphones, lock your bedroom door, find somewhere where you can have a little bit of privacy, because the only person judging you is yourself. And once you learn, once you feel the freedom, when you feel just how good, the high flying vibrations, it just feels so wonderful. And now I'm at a point where, like, because I've gotten familiar with this feeling, because I love this feeling so much, anytime I'm in a situation now where I'm noticing the frequencies are heavy, it's like, nah. And again, I'm not judging, I'm just discerning. I can love you all, but today you're all swimming in a frequency that I really don't want to swim in. I've spent a lifetime in that. It's not for me anymore. And I choose to do something else. Do you know? It's just getting better and better. I can still love them. And look, at maybe tomorrow they'd be tuning into a more comfortable frequency, and then I go spend time with them. It's not slamming the door on people. We don't have to push people out of our lives. But you do have the power to choose. Where are you going to spend your time? What activities are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to keep putting yourself in situations that you're not enjoying, that are weighing you down? Or are you going to start making the conscious decision of, I'd love to see it, but not today, because you know what? I'm off to do something awesome, whatever that is, because again, if you try new things, you're going to discover more and more passions. Now, what else we got here? While out walking, I have my favourite music on my MP3 and I fly high. Now I know why I am working on my chakras and I meditate music walking into dance. Thank you for pointing that out and reminding me of that. Lovely, Bernie. Beautiful. And for some people, that's huge. Personally, I'd never bring music with me when I'm out walking. But again, I've now learned, I don't know, it's the frequencies. The birds singing, sometimes the rustle of the wind in the grass or in the trees. And like, I don't know, I'm learning to just flow in the harmony and the music. Is it the music of the spheres? What does that mean? Is that the universal resonance? I don't know. Look at, I'm not trained that way. This is Russell you need for the likes of that. Rustling around. He understands, he's trained and he has that music background so he can beautifully articulate these things. It goes over my head. I can see it, I can feel it, but how to articulate, I can only do it at my little childish level. And you know what? I'm not even going to apologize for that, because do you know what? I'm starting to love this kid within, because she's starting to see life through the lens of fun and enjoyment. And yeah, sometimes there's, bumps in the road, but for the most part, life is wonderful. And the animals around me are teaching me so much. Like, even the plants are teaching me. And I know people think it's nuts to think, there's any life in any of these things or any awareness, but you know what? They're all consciousness. And they are teaching me so much. It's just incredible. And each day I'm getting more and more impassioned and loving life and, wondering, what am I going to discover today? Because you know what? I'm learning something new every day. Sometimes on a massive, mind-blowing, oh my God, that was awesome. And sometimes just it's little things. But it doesn't matter. I just appreciate it all. I'm loving it all. And my once absolutely miserable existence is now becoming just one of joy and happiness. And yes, I deal with a lot of ups and downs with people. But you know what? It lifts me because a spirit is flowing through me. When the answers come through me, when I'm talking to people, when people are receiving what they need to hear, that's flowing through me, which means it's lifting me at the same time. So I don't care if people think I'm weird anymore by doing what I do and embracing who I am and allowing messages to flow through me, even if sometimes they make no sense to me at all, because I'm learning to appreciate and understand. It makes sense. It means something to whoever's hearing it or receiving it, whether that's today in this moment during this live stream or in the future sometime, because that's also now. So what are you going to do right now? Because now is all you have. Now is what matters. Leave the fear and the pain in the past. Bring the lessons. And don't taint it. Don't taint the future. Don't be living in the future. It doesn't exist yet. Stay in the now and enjoy it, because it's a gift. Be present and receive that present. Receive that gift of now, because it really is beautiful. What have we got? Lovely to see you two connecting. Bernie, you'd love Patrick. He's one of the most beautifully authentic souls I've ever come across. I love him to bits. And again, an awful lot of wisdom comes through in his messages and his readings. He really is an incredible soul. And he's the king of the long lives. And oh my God, 143, nearly 144. I'm going to catch up on you with your title. But no, my aim is to actually have shorter videos. But for some reason, this is how it is. And like I said, should have called this video flow. I'm learning to go with the flow. And as always, people, take what resonates and disregard the rest. Because what's coming through, they're collective messages. So it may not resonate with every single person, depending on where you are in your particular journey right now. But they will always be here for those that are ready to receive them. And I trust that that is so. Anyway, thank you so much. And thanks, guys, for tuning in and interacting. It was lovely to see you. And sure, yeah, I'll catch you all soon. Love to y'all. Bye.